Good morning, guys. Good morning. How are you doing today? Sure you can hear me. If you can hear me, please drop a comment. If you can hear me loud and clear, drop a comment. How has been trading this week? I hope it's been profitable. Welcome to today's live stream. Welcome. You're welcome. I feel so excited to have you in today's session. How has it been? How has it been? I hope your week has been profitable. If you can hear me loud and clear, drop a comment. If you can hear me loud and clear, drop a comment. If you can hear me loud and clear. Good morning, good morning. If you have any question, if there's any pair you want me to analyze, drop it in the comment section. I want to believe you can hear me. I want to believe you can hear me. If you have any question, drop it in the comment section. Few minutes, please. I'm trying to send a reminder on the various social platforms. If you have any question, you have any pair you want me to analyze, just drop it in the comment section. Mr. Amuda, good morning. How are you? It's been a while. For some weeks now, you've not joined the class. You've not been joining the class. I hope you're fine, Mr. Amuda. I hope you're fine. Or could it be that you've been joining but not commenting? I hope you're fine, Mr. Amuda. Okay, so let's go straight to business. And today is 24th of April, Thursday 24th, and a major news will be released from the United States by 1:30 p.m. Nigerian time. Unemployment will be released by 1:30, and the previous value was 215, and the forecast is 222. So they're expecting an increase. They're expecting an increase, okay? And if the actual is higher than the forecast, that will be negative for the dollar. If the actual is higher than the forecast, that will be negative for the dollar. If the actual is higher than the forecast, negative. If it is less than the forecast, positive. I hope that is clear. I hope that is clear. Okay, so let's go to the chart. Let's go to the chart and see what we have on the charts. Okay, so if you're considering trading dollar pairs, you might You might wait for this news to be released by 1:30. Okay, you might wait for the news if you have not executed a trade on USD pairs. I dropped a call on Euro USD the early hours of today, and that Euro USD has moved in our direction at least 40 pips. It has moved in our direction 40 pips. So if you have not executed a trade on Euro USD, it's most likely price will pull back, okay, before going bullish. Probably this news will be used to pull price back to maybe a discount area or fill a fair value gap before going bullish. Okay, so let's go to the chart. If there's any pair you want us to analyze, drop it in the comment section. Good morning, Daniel. How are you doing? Okay, if you have any question, any pair you want us to look at, drop it in the comment section. Okay, so let's start with yen basket. Yen basket, we use this to determine the strength of Japanese yen. Okay, we use this to determine the strength of Japanese yen. So what do we have here? What can we see? You can see here shift in market structure has occurred here on yen. Shift in market structure has occurred here. Okay, shift in market structure has occurred here. The price pulled back, tested that level, strong rejection from that level, created a fair value gap here. Okay, this tells us that yen is weak at the moment. Okay, this tells us that yen is weak at the moment. So it created a fair value gap here. And what happened this morning? Price has pulled back to fill that fair value gap. So yen is likely going to drop from this level. Okay, yen is likely going to drop from this level. But if yen breaks out from this zone, then we should expect more buys on JPY, on yen. Okay. But if price breaks out from this level, this low, you should expect more bearish move. This is a bearish setup on yen basket. This is a bearish setup on yen basket. You only consider buying if a 4-hour candle closes above this level. That is when you will consider buying. But at the moment, it is bearish. It is bearish. This is on 4-hour time frame. It is bearish. So the next target, if it keeps selling, the next target will be this low, which will be the next draw on liquidity. If it breaks out from that, this will be the next draw on liquidity, and the final bust stop. The final bust stop is likely going to be, there's a high probability it will come to this level. Why? You can see what we have here. We have a fair value gap here. There's a confluence here. There's a fair value gap here, and we have a breakout block here. You can see we have a fair value gap and we have a breakout block. Resistance turn support, you can see it. There's a confluence here, so it gives it a high probability of dropping to this zone. Can you see that? So that is it for, that is what I see on yen. That's what I see on yen. Okay, that's what I see on yen. It breaks out from this low, it's coming for this. This will be the next draw on liquidity. I hope that is clear. Okay, we'll look at Australian dollar USD. Okay, a few minutes. So that's my take on yen. So if you're considering trading yen pairs like GBP JPY, Euro JPY, Aussie JPY, USD JPY, you should be considering buying because yen is weak. You should be considering buying those pairs. Okay, you should be considering buying those pairs because yen is weak at the moment. Okay. So that's my take on yen. Let's look at dollar index. We use dollar index to determine the strength of the dollar. Okay, we use the dollar index to determine the strength of the dollar. And the strength of the dollar will determine what order would execute on currency pairs. Right? The strength of the dollar will determine what order we would execute on currency pairs. Buys on the WhatsApp group that, this morning at the early hours of today, video on the WhatsApp group that we should expect dollar to sell. Okay, my expectation on dollar is for it to drop to this to come clear the liquidity residing at this previous low, okay, and also fill this fair value gap. That is my expectation on dollar index. My bias for dollar index for the week still remains bullish. It still remains bullish. This retracement or this drop is a pullback to fill this fair value gap and also clear the liquidity residing at this previous low. You can see here on 4-hour, right? This is 4-hour. You can see we have a fair value gap here, and it's also possible for price to pull back from this fair value gap. It's also possible for price to pull back from this fair value gap. You can see why price pulled back from this level. Can you see why it pulled back? Because there was a fair value gap here. Can you see this fair value gap here? That was the reason for the pullback, and price though didn't fill that fair value gap entirely, but price entered into that zone and there was a strong rejection from that zone. Can you see that? So like I said, it is possible for DXY to pull back. So if a bullish reversal pattern forms after price fills this fair value gap, I might go bullish from this point. Okay, I might go bullish if a bullish reversal pattern forms after price fills these zones or in zones will determine if I will go. If price breaks out from this zone, then I will just come to this next zone. Are you getting me? So at the moment, the dollar is still. That's my take on dollar index. I hope that is clear. If you have any question, if you have contrary view on this, let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section if you have a contrary view. That's just my opinion. I might be wrong, okay? I might be wrong, but that is what I see on the charts. That is what price action is communicating to me. Okay, so that is it. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you have not done that, give it a thumbs up. And if this is your first time participating on this live stream, please do subscribe to the channel so that anytime I come on live, you get notified by YouTube. So now every time I remember to post on all the social media platforms. So if you subscribe, you always get notification from YouTube. Okay, so that's my take on dollar index. So let's look at GBP USD. GBP USD. So you can see GBP USD is bullish. As at yesterday, I was hoping, GBP USD would come clear the liquidity residing at this previous low. See, that was my expectation. I was expecting GBP USD to come, clear this liquidity here. That was my expectation, but it didn't get there. So why did I buy or go bullish on GBP USD? You can see the pattern. You can see the pattern that formed there. This is an inverted hammer, and the next candlestick closed bullish. This confirms buy setup. This confirms buy setup. Okay, and that's the reason GU is bullish at the moment. GU is bullish at the moment, and it is likely going to come fill this fair value gap. I think that is where it's aiming for, this fair value gap. That is where GBP USD is heading to. Okay, but first it will go for this high, this previous high, which is an area of liquidity. Okay, but let's see what's happening on 1 hour time frame. Could be price just got to a fair value gap. Let's see 1 hour. See, so you can see on 1 hour we had a fair gap here on 1 hour time frame. And price just filled that fair value gap. Price could also pull back from this area. So even if I would go bearish on GBP USD, but at the moment it is still bullish. It is still bullish. There's a high probability it's going to come clear the liquidity residing at this previous high and fill this fair value gap. That's my expectation. And you can see there's a confluence here. Can you see the confluence here? We have a breaker block here, or you call it your resistance, not support stone resistance. You can see support stone resistance. So there's a high probability GE would come to this zone. There's a high probability between now and New York session. Between now and New York session, there's a high probability it will come for this. If it does not get to this zone before New York session, maybe the news gets released. Once they release the news and the news is positive for the dollar, it is positive for the dollar, then price might just start dropping from the current market price and not fill this fair value gap. Okay, if the news comes out very positive for the dollar, then price might not come to fill this fair value gap. That's what we experienced yesterday in the market. I think the news was positive for the dollar. I think it was positive for the dollar, and immediately the news got released, dollar became bullish. Dollar became bullish, and that's why it sold yesterday. You can see, I think it was at this point they released the news, somewhere around here. That was why GBP USD sold. I was expecting price to come and fill this gap yesterday, but because of the news that was, I think, was positive for the dollar, it didn't pull back to that. Okay, this was where it started selling. Yeah, this was where it started selling yesterday after the news. After they released the news, it started selling. But I was expecting that to come fill this fair value gap before selling. But since the news was, I think, was positive for the dollar, it didn't get to this zone and it started selling. So I missed this move on GBP USD yesterday. So that's my take on GBP USD. It is bullish at the moment. Look for buys at the moment. Though it's late to buy. It's late to buy. Personally, I wouldn't take a buy trade on euro, on GBP USD from the current market price. This would have been a good entry. This would have been a good entry. You can see the pattern we had here. We had a doji, we had a spanning bottom, and this candlestick closed bullish. So this would have been the best entry for GBP USD. As far as I'm concerned, buying GBP USD at the current market price is at a higher risk, right? The market is trading 40 pips above this level. So buying it is at a very high risk, and you can see it has also created a fair value gap here. Price is likely going to pull back, fill this fair value gap before going bullish. So if you are considering buying, I would advise you wait for price to pull back to this zone, this fair value gap, or this resistance turn support before you take a buy on GBP USD. That is my take on GBP USD. If you have any pair you want us to analyze, let me know in the comment section. Okay, I can see Mr. Daniel is requesting for GJ and Mr. Amuda requested USD. Okay, so let's look at Euro USD before we look at other pairs. Same buyers on Euro USD, bullish. I dropped this call this morning on GBP US on Euro USD. So let's start with the daily. So yesterday candle closed strongly bearish, and after the close of yesterday candle, let's go down to 4 hour. Let's see what pattern we had on 4 hour time frame. Let's see the pattern we had. So you can see the pattern we had on this was the last candle for yesterday market, closed strongly bearish, and the next candle closed bullish. This is a Marubozu candle. And also if you go back here, you can see we had a fair value gap here, though price tested or filled that fair value gap at this point. Okay, it filled it at this point and it came back again to retest that level, and from that point price started going up. You can see that. So Euro USD is still bullish at the moment. It's likely going to come clear the liquidity reserve at this previous high and fill this fair value gap. That's my expectation on Euro USD. If you are considering selling Euro USD, wait for price to pull back to this zone before you sell. Okay, wait for price to pull back to this zone before you sell. And if you are selling, this liquidity that has not been cleared will be your next target. Euro USD is likely going to come fill these fair value gaps. That's my expectation on Euro USD this week. Okay, That's my position on Euro USD this week. So today's candle is likely going to give us the high for the week. I expected that to play out yesterday, Wednesday, but it didn't play out. It didn't play out. So it's likely today will give us the high for the week. Today's candle is going to give us the high for the week. Okay, that is my expectation. Let's see how it plays out. Okay, so AU, okay, AU. Mr. Richard, good morning. We'll look at AU in a few minutes. So let's look at AU, AUD, USD. So at the moment, what do I see on AU? I see AU coming to fill this fair value gap. That is what I see on AU. AU is coming to fill this fair value gap. That is what I see on AU. AU could also, let me see if this was used to play the liquidity. Okay, so I doubt if it will get to this area. I doubt if it will get to this area. Okay, so the first target is this fair value gap. So look for sell setup at this zone. Look for opportunity to sell at that zone. Wait for a bearish reversal pattern to form at this zone before you sell. If bearish reversal pattern doesn't form at that zone, then you have to wait for price to get to the next zone. Wait for price to get to the next zone. Let me go down to 15 minutes. Okay, so this is the fair value gap on 15 minutes. You can see this. So that's my expectation on Australian dollar USD. That's my expectation on Australian dollar USD. Price should come fill this zone before you go bearish. If price does not fill that zone, price should break out from this support. 4-hour candle should close below this support for sell, or price fills this fair value gap before it sell. That's my take on Australian dollar USD. I would not advise that you take a buy on Australian dollar USD at the moment. This would have been the best entry on Australian dollar USD. This would have been the best entry for buy on Australian dollar USD. Why? You can see what played out here. This move you see here was used to clear the liquidity residing at this previous low. That was what played out here. And you see, they used this sell to clear the liquidity residing at this previous low. And after clearing the liquidity, you see the pattern that formed there. The bullish candlestick closed above that level. This tells you that there is more demand, okay, than supply. Okay, if you go down to lower time frames like 5 minutes, 1 minute, I'm sure you would be able to identify a bullish reversal pattern on a lower time frame. Let's just see 5 minutes and 1 minute. I'm sure there is a bullish reversal pattern that formed on the lower time frame. Okay, so you can see we have what looks like an inverted hammer here, though not a valid one. Let's go to 1 minute. You will see there has to be a bullish reversal pattern at that area. Let's see. Can you see it? Can you see it? No, not this. That's not the level. Hold on. Okay, can you see it? This is it on 1 minute. So you can see the pattern we had here. We had it created a resistance here. Price broke out from that resistance. That tells you demand is higher than supply. Can you see that? Okay, so that is it on Australian dollar USD. I am still very bullish at the moment. Still very bullish at the moment, but would sell if price fills that fair value gap. Okay, price fills that fair value gap, then I would go bearish. This is the fair value gap. If price fills this gap, then that will be a sell. sell, and if I take that sell trade, I'm going to hold it till the close of the market. At least I will target for, my target will be between 80 and 100 pips. 80, 100 pips, that will be my TP. That will be my target if I'm selling from this zone. So that could take some time. It could take between now and the close of the market for the week. Mr. Ebenezer. Good morning, Mr. Ebenezer. Good morning. If you are not profitable on a live account, don't go for prop firms. If you are not profitable on a live account, don't go for prop firms. Okay, the pressure trading prop firms, the pressure is too high for an inexperienced trader to manage. The pressure is too much, it's too high, it's too much for a beginner trader. So ensure that you are profitable on your live account, your brokerage account, before you go for prop firms. Unless you just want to try, you just want to risk it. Okay. Passing prop firm shouldn't be by luck or by gambling. You need to know what you're doing before you go for prop firms. You only risk what you can afford to lose. Okay? Only risk what you can afford to lose. If you want to buy 5K accounts, which is about $40 to $50, you should be comfortable losing that $50. You should be comfortable losing that $50. And most of the prop firms out there, I can't recommend any of the prop firms out there. I can't recommend any of the prop firms out there. The only one, if I want to recommend, would be FTMO, and FTMO is quite expensive. That is the only prop I would recommend. But before you go for prop, please ensure you are okay trading your brokerage account. If you have an account with Oro Market, if you have $1,500, the best thing to do is to fund your live trading account. When you make a profit on your live trading account, then you can use that profit to buy prop. That is what I would advise. First, make profit, the profit you make on your brokerage account, then you can use that to buy prop firm. I hope that is clear. I hope that is clear. 97 to 98% of those who tried prop firm fail. Okay. 97 to 98% of those who buy prop firms do fail. They do fail. Okay. So know what you are doing before you go for that. I hope that is clear, Mr. Amuda. Most of their rules, most of these prop firm rules is designed to make you fail. Okay, it is designed to make you fail. Most of their rules is designed to make you fail. Some will tell you need to make certain amounts before you can withdraw. Some would say you need to make at least a profit of, let's say, $100, $50 before you can make withdrawals. Some will tell you cannot carry your trade overnight. You have to close the trade the same day you opened it. I see that as is. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Those rules does not make sense. So that's why I don't recommend prop firms. On your live trading account, when you make profit, you have access to your profits. So that's my take on Australian dollar USD. Okay, let's look at GJ. I've traded prop firm, I've passed prop firms. Traded with MFF before they shut down. I traded with Consumer before they shut down. I had live accounts with these prop firms. I had live accounts with these prop firms and they've all disappeared. They've all disappeared. So you can't depend on prop firms. You can't depend on prop firms. After this company shut down, I just took a break from prop firms. I just took a break. It was really disheartening. I lost those accounts. It was really disheartening that I lost those accounts. I just took a break on prop firms. That's why I don't advise that you go for prop firms. Trade life, make money, withdraw your money. GJ, I think GJ, we've looked at the yen basket, and our bias on the yen basket is bearish, which means yen should be weak. Okay, yen should be weak. So if yen is to be weak, then GJ should be buy. GJ should be buy. So my bias on GJ is what? Buy, buy. And the buy started from this point. This would have been the good entry for buy. Why? Why buy from this point? You can see we had two inverted armor indicating change in trend from bearish to bullish. And also you can see the next candlestick that formed after this inverted armor is a strong bullish candle. It's a strong bullish candle. Also, if you go back here, you will see we had a fair value gap at this area. You can see. So price pulled back and filled the fair value gap, and reversal pattern formed, telling us it's time to buy. So GJ is bullish at the moment, though this would have been the best entry, and the market is trading how many pips above that level now? 30 pips. 30 pips above that level. And if you're taking a buy from the current market price, your stop loss will be this low. If you're okay with that risk, you can take the trade. That's about 50 pip risk. Your stop loss should be here, 50 pip, and your first target will be this previous high. This previous high, you can see this is relative equal high, which is an area of liquidity. So if we are risking 50 pips on this trade and our target is this, from 189.81 to 190.31, you can see the risk reward is 1:1. That's the risk reward. 1:1 risk reward. And I think that is very poor. That is very poor risk reward. So if you still want to buy, you could wait for price to pull back a little retracement before you join the buy the bullish trend. A little retracement before you look for buys. That is what I would advise. It is bullish, or you should wait for a little retracement. Let's see on 15 minutes if there is a fair value gap it might want to fill. So far, there is no fair value gap on 15 minutes. There is no fair value gap. This was used to clear liquidity residing at this previous low, and I think this was the low of the Asian session. So what they did was to clear the liquidity residing at this low, and after clearing the liquidity, created the resistance here, and price had pulled back several times to test that resistance, which has become a support. You can see price tested its rejection. This also tested its rejection. There was an attempt here. This tested its rejection. Okay, so you might wait, maybe price will pull back to this area again, then you take a buy from there. Okay, so that's my take. As you can see, it could be reacting to this fair value gap. Price could be reacting to this fair value gap at the moment. Okay, so you could wait for price to pull back to this level before you take a buy on GJ. I hope that is clear. I hope that is clear. Is there any other pair you want us to look at? Okay, someone requested for gold. Someone requested for gold, Mr. Ebenezer. Okay, let's look at gold. If you have any question, just drop it in the comment section. Let's look at gold. So as you can see, at the moment, gold is bearish. Well, let's start with the daily. Let's start with the daily. Let's start with daily time frame. Also, yesterday candle was bearish, and it's also bought. I think when the market opened yesterday, when the candle opened, the first thing they did was to buy, and later on in the day, I think after the news was released and it was positive for the dollar, it sold. And that was what played out yesterday. Okay, so let's go down to 4 hour. So this is what we have on 4 hour at the moment. So with what I see on 4 hour with this pattern at the moment, gold is bearish. Gold, this is my advice before you sell gold. Let's see, let's go down. Probably it's pulled back to fill a fair value gap here. Let's confirm that on lower time frame. Let's see, 1 hour. It's like there's a fair value gap there. You can see. Can you see the fair value gap? Can you see? This is a strategy on its own, fair value gaps. Okay, price pulls into a fair value gap, look for a bearish reversal pattern to form. After price fills that fair value gap, then you can look for sell. That's a strategy on its own. You can decide to just trade only fair value gaps, wait for price to pull back to fair value gaps, wait for a bearish reversal pattern to form. After the fair value gap gets filled, then you take your trade from there. Simple. Don't complicate it. Okay, so price came, filled the fair value gap, and it started selling. So I think it is bearish at the moment. So if you want to take a sell trade, I would advise you wait for, let's go to 1 hour. Okay, so wait for 1 hour candle to close below the low of this candle. Okay, if you want to take a sell trade, if you want to risk selling gold, wait for 1 hour candle to close below the low of this candle before you sell. That's my take on gold. And if you are selling, gold is likely going to come clear the liquidity residing at this low. I think that was really low for yesterday market. Yeah, that was the low of yesterday candle. So wait for gold to come clear the liquidity residing at this level. Okay, technically gold is set for sell. Technically gold is set for sell. It's set for sell. Okay, so that's my take on gold. Any question? If you have any question, let me know in the comment section. Is there any other pair you want us to look at together? Drop it in the comment section. Any question? Is there any other question? If you have any other question, please drop it in the comment section. If you are here to give the video a thumbs up, please give it a thumbs up, so that others can get to see this video. Any question? Is there any other pair you want us to look at? Let me know in the comment section. But tomorrow is Friday. I will be organizing a free Forex class for beginners, please. For beginners, not experienced traders. For beginners, those who don't know what Forex trading business entails. For beginner, not for experienced traders. I'm not expecting any of you participating on this live stream to join the class. So if you have anyone who is interested, who is new to trading and wants to learn the basics of Forex, what is lot size, what is a candlestick, what is a pip, what is a currency pair, what is base and counter currency, what is bid and ask, what is spread. Not for those who are already trading live. For beginners, please. The live streaming is for experienced traders. Experienced traders. So if you're experienced, you should keep showing up for the live streaming. I see most of you when I organize classes for beginners, you show up for the classes. You still join the class. What do you want to learn in that class? I don't understand. If I see you in that class, I'm going to kick you out. I'm going to kick you out of the class. Okay. So I will drop the link later on the WhatsApp group. I'll drop the link later on the WhatsApp group. Any question? Any question? What's happening on DXY? Like DXY wants to change its trend from sell to buy. Okay, but we'll wait for 4-hour candle to close. Okay, and see, just fill this fair value gap, and it's likely going to start retracing from that point. So if you see a buy setup here, take a buy on dollar index. That means you'll sell GBP USD, but ensure that on GBP USD you also see a bearish reversal pattern on GBP USD. Okay. See 1-hour candle. We had a spinning bottom here, and the current candle might close as a doji, strong bullish reversal pattern. And if the next candle still close bullish above the high of this candle or the high of this candle, then it means dollar index might not come to this area. It might not come to clear the liquidity. As you can see, we also had a resistance here which became a support. There's a confluence here, so price might just pull back from that area. Okay, but you should also wait. Okay, just patiently wait for the news to be released. If the news is positive for the dollar, then you should look for buy. Okay, if the news comes out positive for the dollar, then you should buy. You should buy. Buy, but before you buy, ensure that a bullish reversal pattern forms on the chart. Okay, ensure a bullish reversal pattern forms on the chart before you buy. I hope that is clear. Yes, learning is a continuous process, and that is why you should join the experienced class, the live stream. That's the reason you are joining this live stream, not for you to join beginners class. Okay, it's just that, for example, you've finished secondary school, you now decide to go back to primary one. There's no sense in that. Right? There's no sense in that. You cannot from SS3 go back to GS1 or go back to primary school. You should advance. From SS3, the next phase is university, not GS1 or GS2, or you go back to primary school. Okay? If it's a strategy session, if I'm teaching strategy, yes, you can join that class. Not for you to come and join beginners class, no. If it is strategy, I have a strategy I want to teach. As an experienced trader, you can join that class. Not for you to come and join beginners class. What is forex trade? What is lot size? No. You should go on YouTube and do a search instead. Go on YouTube to search for those things. If you think you've forgotten, then go on YouTube and just do a search. It will be easy for you to understand those things than a newbie. Okay, YouTube is not for inexperienced trader. It's for those who are experienced. Mr. Mayor, you just joined the class. Okay, GBP card. Okay, few minutes. GBP card. GBP card. GBP card. So let's start with the daily. This is a buy setup on GCAD. You can see how yesterday candle closed. It closed as a spinning bottom. It closed as a spinning bottom. It respected the low of this candle, this bullish candle. The low was respected. This low was respected. And if you go down to lower time frame, it's likely a fair value gap was created here. That's the reason for this pullback. Let's just confirm that. Let's just confirm that. Let's go down to 4 hour. So okay, on 4 hour we had a fair value gap here. You see that we had a fair value gap here. We had a fair value gap here. Let's go down to let's see 1 hour and 15 minutes. Okay, this is 15 minutes. And this is 1 hour time frame. So you can see here we had a fair value gap here on 1 hour. We had a fair value gap here, but let's go down to 15 minutes. I'm sure there's still a fair value gap below that. Let's see on 15 minutes. So this is a buy. It's a buy. So you can see on 15 minutes, you can see the recent price pulled back. I think is this fair value gap here. You can see this fair value gap here. Okay, you can see. Let's go to 1 hour. So you can see why price pulled back. Can you see that? It pulled back to fill that fair value gap we identified on 15 minutes time frame. And after filling that gap, there was a strong rejection. There was a strong rejection from that level. You can see, and this occurred around it should be 12 a.m. Nigerian time. It should be 12 a.m. Nigerian time. And before it moved in London session, you can see it pulled back in London session to come and fill that fair value gap again. Can you see that? In London session, this occurred during the Asian session. It came back in London to fill this fair value gap. So GCAD, with what I see on this chart, is bullish. It is bullish, and it's likely coming for this fair value gap. It's likely coming for this fair value gap. And you can see we have a breaker block here, which is in confluence with this fair value gap. Can you see that? We have a breaker block here, which is in confluence with this fair value gap. So that could be the next draw on liquidity. Okay, that could be the next draw on liquidity. So if you want to buy, so this pullback you're seeing at the moment, I think it's trying to fill a fair value gap it's created. You go down to 15 minutes. Let's go down to 15 minutes. Most likely it's created a fair value gap. So you can see 15 minutes created a fair value gap at this point. So it's likely wants to fill this gap. It likely wants to fill this gap. And also you can see we have a breaker block here, which is in confluence with this fair value gap. Okay, so GBP card is likely going to pull back from this zone or from the current market price if a bullish reversal pattern forms, because it has tested this breaker block. It has tested this breaker block, so it could pull back from that level or fill this fair value gap before going bullish. So all you should look out for is a bullish reversal pattern. Wait for a bullish reversal pattern to form before you take a buy. That's my take on GCAD. That is my take on GCAD. GCAD is set for buy. GCAD is set for buy. That is what I see on GCAD. I might be wrong, okay? But based on my technicals, GCAD is set for buy. GCAD is set for buy. Okay? So if the current 1 hour candle closes as a doji spinning top on 1 hour time frame, you go down to 15 minutes and show you have a bullish reversal pattern also on 15 minutes. Could be engulfing on 15 minutes time frame. Okay, could be an hammer on 15 minutes time frame. So that would be the right time to execute. guess that's all for today. Any question? Is there any other question? Is there any other question? If you are here to give the video a thumbs up, please do so that others can get to see this video. The more likes a video has, the higher its probability of reaching others. The more likes, the higher its probability of reaching others. So always make it a priority to give the videos thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. It's your first time joining the live stream, please subscribe to the channel so that anytime I come on live, you get notified by YouTube. You don't want to miss any of the classes. You don't want to miss any of the classes, so subscribe. All right, guys, I appreciate you all for always showing up for the classes. I want to believe you're getting value from the classes. I want to believe you're getting value. It's the reason I show up here every day. Sometimes it's even not convenient, but I still show up because I want to ensure that you're doing the right thing. Okay, it is only when you do the right thing in the market you get the right results. That is why I keep showing up. I knew what it cost me, to attain this level that I am right now. Okay, I knew what it cost me. It cost me money. It cost me time. It cost me a lot of pain, and I don't want you to go through that. I don't want you to experience that. I don't want you to experience losses. I don't want you to go through, experience the same pain I went through, which was due to lack of mentorship. Okay, I had no one to guide me. So it's the reason I do the things I do. Now that I'm doing well in trading, I should be able to help others to achieve success also in trading. That is why I do these things. Okay, just ensure that you don't over leverage, you don't over trade. Have a trading plan, have a strategy that you trade, and just stick to your trading plan. If you do these things, you would be a profitable trader. And also think long term. Most of you think with $50 you'll become a millionaire overnight. It's a wrong mindset. It's one of the lies you've been told about Forex trading, that you can take a $50 account to millions. It is possible, but it will take years. So don't put unnecessary pressure on yourself. Okay, just ensure that you trade with a trading plan. Ensure you have a strategy. If you don't have a strategy you're trading with, you are gambling. And if you want to learn my strategy, you want me to mentor you, you pay for that service. It's not free. It is not free. Like I told you, it cost me money to learn these things. I've spent not less than $10,000 learning this skill, acquiring knowledge. I've spent a lot of money. So if you want me to mentor you, you have to pay. I don't beg people to be mentored. I don't beg. Most people, it is after they have lost money, they appreciate, a mentor. They now understand the importance of having a mentor after they've lost. So sometimes I just let people do their thing, let them learn the hard way, so that when they pay for the mentorship, they would now, appreciate it. Okay, so a lot of materials online. You can go on YouTube, go on Google, access those information for free. But when it comes to mentorship, you want me to dedicate my time to teach you, you have to pay. And my 3-month mentorship program costs 50,000 naira. 3-month mentorship program costs 50,000 naira. So what do we do in the mentorship group? Come on live every week, at least 3 times in a week on Zoom. And if there's any update on the strategy, as you know, the market is evolving, the Forex market is dynamic, and most times it's necessary that you update your system, you tweak your system. That's the essence for the mentorship. So if you're in the mentorship program, in the mentorship group, if there's an update on the strategy, you'll be the first to be informed. You'll be the first. For example, those who bought or who enrolled for my mentorship program maybe last year or 2 years ago, the strategy they are trading with right now is different from what I'm currently trading with. That's just the truth. And those who remained in the group have been updated. they've been updated. You understand? So that's the essence of mentorship. If you have any question, you can always ask. You can always ask. You have access to my DM. Most of you send me message on DM. I don't reply because you are not my mentee. Okay, you can drop your message on the general WhatsApp group, but when it comes to me, answering your DM, you have to be my student. That is when you get my attention. If you're not my student, I will hardly respond to your DM. That's just the truth. That's why I created this WhatsApp group, so that you can always drop your questions. It's also the reason I come on live here to attend to your questions. Only my students, only my mentees have access to my DM. Okay? So guys, let me not talk too much. I appreciate you all for your participation. Do have a wonderful day. Bye for now.